the high performers are really getting like 2.8 times the benefit that others are. Then you got the low performers who generally actually consume the majority of attention within an organization. They're on performance improvement plans, they're in extra meetings, they're getting remedial attention, but they're just not delivering the result.
Welcome to Embracing Digital Transformation, where we explore how people, process, policy, and technology drive effective change. This is Dr. Darren, Chief Enterprise Architect, Educator, Author, and most importantly, your host.
On this episode, The Performance Gap, How AI Accelerates Workplace Inequality, with Matt Kesby, Founder and Chief AI Officer at AICoaches.com. Matt, welcome to the show.
Darren, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Matt, before we dive into, everyone's talking about AI. I kind of like the crazy things you guys are doing, which we'll talk about in a minute. But everyone knows on my show, I only have superheroes on my show. And every superhero has an origin story. So, Matt, what's your origin story?
Origin story. Well, I think I live in the Philippines right now, and between Philippines and Indonesia. And I grew up behind my parents' fish and chip shop. I don't think I ever really expected I'd be running an international business with 1,200 employees. We do about $1.8 billion in transactions and build multiple AI products. And but you know, the one thing that I really take away from my parents is they taught me to have a very strong work ethic. And I think that, you know, having persistence and agility, especially in learning and trying new things, is so required today when we're going to have such a fast pace of change coming across the world with AI. Very fortunate to go through after university, opening up a cafe, waterfront restaurant, fortunate enough to sell out to private equity. But then interestingly, I lost it all after doing a tech startup in 2008, where we built
the lovely 2008. Yeah, we all remember that time.
I think a few listeners are old enough to remember that one. Probably a few are too young. We had what today you would call the gig economy and narrow AI. We had a short-term labor hire business with over 70,000 workers in Australia that were getting short-term jobs, part-time jobs for clients around Australia. And at that point in time in Australia, in 2007, you found it very hard to get skilled talent to come in and do short-term jobs. I had a waterfront restaurant, so a chef or a barista or a bartender on the weekends was really difficult. And so we went and solved the problem. And this is pre-iPhones. It's certainly in Australia anyway.
Yeah.
And so some of the tech was amazing to be able to have people just go online and set up in a calendar, you know, when they're available to work, how far they're willing to travel, what the different skills are, and all that automated matching that would occur and send out SMSs and communicate to people in real time. But then overnight, it went from not being able to get enough staff to no one's hiring any staff. And so the whole business model like crashed, and you realize the importance of understanding that, especially today, nothing lives forever, and a business model can be massively disrupted overnight, and that to have the agility and the ability to change really quickly is critical. And I'm fortunate to go off and then spend close to the next decade heading up the strategy execution practice for Franklin Covey in Australia and New Zealand, doing a lot of change management in organizations. Before then starting the outsourcing business, where we now have about more than 1,200 people, and then a payments company and onto tech. And so, like nothing stops you except, you know, lessons learned and just, I think, moving faster with more agility. And what a time for agility now.
Well, I was gonna bring that up. You've seen a lot of change, obviously, right? And you've experienced the highs and the lows of all of that.
You bet.
Do you see generative AI being even a bigger factor than what you've seen in the past, even with the Great Recession of 2008? Do you see it being that disruptive?
I do look. I think probably like most of us, there's times where I call it, excuse me, but the oh crap moment, where it's like, oh my goodness, and
Oh yeah.
and that's just a natural reaction of a human being. It's nothing. It's not right, wrong, good or bad. We just have an emotional response at times when we are presented with something that we don't know, we don't understand. There's ambiguity. That's a fear-based response, and it's a protective moment. Now, how you in that moment is really key, right? Will I hang on to that response? Like mine was the Chat GPT moment. It was both exciting and then, oh my goodness, is this going to take
Oh
out
yeah,
all of
yeah.
our
It's just
outsourcing
that's
business?
right.
And so one of my mentors said to me, we only ever really respond out of love or fear. Only there's two buckets to respond out of. And so what are you going to do? You're going to stay in the fear and go into victim land and blame, excuse, denial, quit? Or are you going to go to that love bucket and go, what we say, above the line into proactive response of responsibility, accountability, and ownership for my thoughts, feelings, and actions? And so for me, it's like, well, there's only one option: lean into it, understand it, be inquisitive, be optimistic. And I actually jumped on a plane and flew to San Francisco like a week later, and spent multiple days at a generative AI conference, and I came back actually just like, and you know, there was all the people from Anthropic and OpenAI and all the names at the time I was just not even aware of, right? In a room full of these amazing people. There's about 1,000 people, and I flew back glowing radioactive green, right, with just
Oh
excitement.
yeah. Excitement. Yeah.
At the time, I had 27 developers in my team. I was like, right, everyone in from different islands, and flew everyone in, and we got together. And as I'm explaining it, showing them how, oh, look, you can write Python code, and oh my goodness, it's so exciting. And my most senior developers at the time, like going ashen color, and I'm thinking, oh, I better ask a question. You know, like I said to one of my guys, Olin, what's up? He said, are we all going to lose our jobs? And it's like, oh, same response. You know, something's going on here. We've got to be aware that with all this change, everyone goes through their fear moment. I don't think the job loss component is what the rhetoric that we hear, especially because of, you know, large organizations, the media, they'll talk about the layoffs. Yes, it's going to be disruptive and in an exciting way and an extremely beneficial way.
I agree.
But you know, I think a lot of the job losses, if you just, you know, draw a bell curve in your mind or with your finger in the air, and we realize that every organization has a bell curve of performance with team members. At one end are the high performers, and they're rocketing ahead, and they're the ones actually applying AI the most. And I think as McKinsey just came out on the 25th in early November with their latest report on AI agents, and said like the high performers are really getting like 2.8 times the benefit that others are. Then you got the low performers, who generally actually consume the majority of attention within an organization. They're on performance improvement plans, they're in extra meetings, they're getting remedial attention, but they're just not delivering the results. And then you have the major curve in the middle, which is people who have shown that they can deliver, but they're just not doing it as consistently as the high performers. And I think the big organizations are going through what they've always done, which is moving off the low performers, and it's been shrouded in saying it's an AI initiative. It's because of AI.
Yeah, that's the thing that, and it's perpetuated, frankly, by Sam Altman and Elon and all these other guys. AI is taking everyone's jobs. We need universal. No, we don't. You know what? We've seen this before. We've seen it with, you know, we saw a big job shift in the 1990s. and in the early 2000s, big job shifts, but it has people scared. And like you said, it's great for optimists like you and I. I mean, I'm a total optimist. I'm like, bring it on. This is awesome. I can do so much with this. But for a lot of people, this is a scary time. So,
I think that, you know, and it's scary because of ambiguity. You don't know what,
well,
for the
I think
person who
that's,
can't see what comes
I totally agree with you there.
next. Yeah.
CEOs are frozen. They're locked up because they don't know what to do. And
That's
I
actually
see
why.
this in big corporations. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I mean that's why I ended up writing this book. But I think one piece to help those that cannot see that next part of the future is in economics. There's this concept of Jevons paradox, and I don't know whether you've been chatting about this one on the show already.
no,
But
I haven't.
Jevons paradox is in simple forms is saying, when something gets cheaper, you end up using more of it. And the best, I'll go straight to the current day example of this. AI models are incredible at diagnostics in radiology. So we have a radiologist who checks the x-rays, the CT scans, the fMRIs, and the AI is blisteringly fast, more accurate, and it's so shocking you would think that radiologists are out. Their jobs are gone. They're destroyed. But right now, there's a greater need for radiologists. There's more job openings. There's this huge amount in the US in particular. And US is really advanced in actually applying the AI because the investment in these models is soaring. It's incredibly advanced. But what's happened is that we've got this speed, accuracy, cost reduction when it comes to reviewing the scans. That doesn't mean that we don't need the humans. We actually need more of them because naturally the hospitals are like, well, and doctors are like, well, let's scan everyone. Let's scan.
Well, yeah. But the cost has come down. You're right. Yeah.
Costs come down, so usage goes up. And because AI can't be held accountable for its results, only a human can be held accountable, like to go to court as the expert, right? So we still need the human in the loop. And this is where Jevons paradox has the potential to bring a lot of calmness to people, understanding that we will move forward to being orchestrators of the AI, where we will have the oversight, human in the loop, and be accountable for the results that are being delivered. Our jobs are going to change significantly, no shadow of a doubt. 2 years ago, I said to our team, within 18 months, 85% of the jobs that we deliver will not exist, in their current form.
In their current form, yeah.
They always have. It's just going to happen faster than before. And it's that speed of change that gets everyone nervous because they can't see what happens next. But this is not a new thing. We were once hunters and gatherers, and then agrarians, and then we went to industrial revolution and knowledge worker, and now whatever this age is going to be called is interesting to see how the historians call it.
Well, and the hunting and gathering happens differently now, right? My wife gathers by looking at her phone. Right? I mean, she can place grocery orders. She can do everything all right here, but someone still has to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's still decisions to be made. I think we can up level where we're at.
I think this, and that's naturally what happens, right? There'll be just the whole entire new industries that appear that weren't there before, and demand in roles that were never there before. So it's natural. I think though, there is uncomfortable change for a lot of people that are not willing to upskill, that don't have, and I think there's 5 key skills that we really need in this space. And I've put it into an acronym of ACE, AACCE.
Okay.
We need agility in our thinking and our learning. We need the next one, which is a really tough one, articulate with specificity.
Yes, I totally agree with you on that one. I've noticed that when I've taught workshops, I do workshops on AI, and yeah, when I'm working with people on things, the more accurate in their way of communicating, the better results that they're getting.
Stephen Covey says it well. He says, "Begin with the end in mind." We've probably all
Yes,
heard.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We've all
yeah.
heard habit too from Stephen Covey. One of my mentors said to me the other day, humans are comically bad at explaining their needs or giving instructions, comically bad, and machines are ruthlessly unforgiving in receiving the instructions. Now, maybe generative AI not as ruthless as a
Yeah,
actual
yeah, especially
uh,
now because they're all
yeah,
kind and everything right now, right?
but they're kind, and also because they're probabilistic versus deterministic. In your standard software program that's doing
Right.
an SQL lookup in a database, if you don't write that exactly right, it's not going to work at
It's
all.
not gonna, yeah, you're right.
It's going to break. But now generative AI will give you something back, but it may not be really what you're after because it's not a database. It's a creativity engine, like
Right.
our
Yeah, yeah,
brain.
yeah, yeah. All right, so you gave me the first two.
Okay, yeah. Then
I can't forget because I'm anxious to
good
hear
on
what
you.
these
Yeah,
other.
so AACCE. So the next one is critical thinking and
Okay, I would have
creativity.
thought critical thinking
Also,
was one. Yeah.
yeah. So if I go really creativity first, get lots of different ideas. Critical thinking, you've got to really sort of perceive all those different potential outcomes, but then make a decision, kind of analysis by paralysis. And then the E on the end is for empathy, because with all this change that's happening in ambiguity, it's really important to remember the human in everything, and even either from a big picture perspective, but even just in the moment, realizing that if someone doesn't understand something, then their amygdala is going to kick off. They're in a little bit of fight or flight mode, so preparing, I'm not sure what to do next. And if we all can just take a deep breath and have a little bit more empathy in our responses, take care of everyone, everything's possible. We can achieve great things. So
I really like this a lot. You don't mind if I steal it, right? I can steal
oh,
this.
would love you to have it. Please use it. Like I said, it's in here.
It's in your untangling AI. I love it.
Yeah.
Because you've articulated exactly what I teach, but in a nice acronym, right? We do have to move fast. We can't just sit around and wait. And I think that's what's frustrating me right now, where I see these big companies that are somewhat paralyzed. They're not hiring people because they're afraid to. They're laying people off because people are saying that you don't need as many people, and they're afraid they're falling behind their competitors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my goodness, people, come on. Now is the time to double down, get the best talent, teach them, and hit the, hit it running fast. This is the time, right?
100%. I mean, that get the best people, keep do what it takes to keep the best people. I think that in the upskilling part for many, they're just not sure what to upskill is the next.
Hell yeah,
interesting
you're right.
thing.
You're right.
And so, I mean, we see, look, behind me right now is one of my team members in another podcast studio. I'm in my office in Cebu in the Philippines, and we're on a mission to train 100,000 Filipinos in AI and automation.
That's
It's part of
amazing.
our giving back, and also realizing that the job market change is a very big market for in business process outsourcing and customer service in call centers. And like a lot of those jobs are going to go in their current form. People will step up to have AI oversight, but there will be a large number of people that simply need to upskill into these new skills of building AI agents and automations. So we see it as a part of our duty to give back to the country
I think
and
that's
really
awesome.
make the Philippines the AI agent automation building and monitoring, orchestrating capital of the world is our play here. And
Right. So you guys heard it first on my podcast.
this is where it's
Right. The
happening.
start of the emergence of the Filipino right? The Filipino AI agent empire is Matt's guy.
Well, what I really love the Filipino culture, right? The high empathy tick, massive agility and resilience tick. We've just had two
Oh,
major
resilience
typhoons
for
in the last
sure.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
earthquakes. Yeah, oh my gosh. And so there's a new skill set to be understood and created. And I actually think that while there's the technical side of things, some of that is shifting because of, AI helps to generate and write the agents now, but you still need to orchestrate them. And this whole communication is really key in it all, because if we break all of this down, everything that we do is just communication, whether it's typing on the keyboard to tell the machine what to do, or talking to each other, everything is simple, or how we read each other's emotions. It's all just communication. And if we can work on things like our communication frameworks, the so-called soft skills, as much as the more hard skills technically, I think we're in a very strong position for the future. Because also with the CEOs that are kind of like, they're struggling to understand what to do to change. In February of 2025, I was at a conference with 3,000 CEOs, part of Young Presidents Organization, YPO, of which I'm a member. And it was this amazing conference, 3,000 people. And after the big meeting, the beginning, we'd break out into education tracks. One was on healthcare and longevity. One was on AI. And the organizers thought everyone was going to go for healthcare and longevity. We're all a little bit more mature.
No, everyone was in AI.
Right? Everyone's gone AI. And so on one side, there's these 800-person rooms for the healthcare side, and then these little tiny 150 sort of person rooms for the AI. And it was jammed. You couldn't get in, huge lines. It was like you're at some big concert or trying to buy an iPhone for the first time. It was intense. And so fortunately on day 2, they switched them around. And because on day 1, I didn't get to any of the AI sessions. Day 2, I got to them all. And CEOs, it was really interesting. The presentations were either too generic and there was nothing tangible to apply, or they were too technical, which was super cool for me, but over most people's heads. And I ended up having these conversations on explaining how we do it, and explaining it in a way that's easier for the CEOs to understand, to then say, how do I take the next step that it makes the most sense? And I think it's all about finding your AI sweet spot. And when you do that, 4 things will end up being true. You'll end up seeing consistently increasing business results that you're targeting to achieve. You'll increase active employee engagement. You'll see a constant upskilling of your team, keeping them up to date, and you'll have fit for purpose systems. It's like, well, okay, that's great, Matt, but where do we go as well? For that to occur, we need to look at strategy, execution, people, and technology. And from a CEO perspective,
back to the basics.
Hey, I know, right? So we get there's this bright shiny thing called technology and AI, and everyone gets wooed by it. But that can just be full of distractions, and you end up not delivering on the fundamentals.
Right.
And everything's principle based, whether you like it or not, whether you realize it or not, I should say. And if you can figure out the principles, then everything flows afterwards. Stop getting distracted, back to the core. I mean, strategically, where are you even going in business? What's the direction you need to go? Like, and where are you at with your preparedness for that?
You know what? You're speaking just like Covey did. And because I'm a big, huge Covey fan too. So
me too.
When I'm hearing this, I'm like, yeah, I know this stuff, right? Because in fact, I lived down the street from Sean Covey.
No way.
Yeah, for about 3 years I did. And he always gave back to the community, and every year he'd sit down with all the people in the community, and we got a lecture from him, which was awesome. Right?
Serving
like,
a lecture.
He doesn't even have to pay for it, right? He's my neighbor, right?
Yeah.
So this going back to principles, first principles, in management, in managing your own life, really, really shines when you've got something so disruptive that we're having right now. I think this is awesome.
Safety comes in that framework too. So like
Yeah.
the principles allow you to lock onto something for safety, and then all of a sudden you can understand it. And with that safety, now you can take the next step again. And if you know what the next step on the framework, on the ladder is, on the rung, and you can put your hands on either side, you know, that the analogy of a framework, if people are not familiar with it, the concept of a framework is that imagine there's a 6-foot fence and you need to climb over it, or maybe an 8-foot fence. It's a little bit high. It's like, well, that looks pretty hard, but you lean a ladder against the fence, a framework with its rungs on it, and you can put your hands on either side and hold on it. Easy. I can do this. Right. And so that's kind of, you know, without it, it's a bit of a mess trying to consider how to cover it. You know, it feels impossible, but you put the ladder there and next thing it gets there. And so that's what Covey did with the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It actually takes you through a maturity continuum from dependence to independence to interdependence. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the magic in that is so fascinating, because even at this habit 6 is to synergize, which is about how we work together to achieve something greater than we can achieve on our own. And one of the principles behind it is humility, that it may not be my way or your way, but let's have an open mind and communicate together to find a better way, a third alternative. And that's innovation at the end of the day, when we work with others and create new things and come up with new ideas. And that is the most exciting, fulfilling zone to be in as a human being.
I think so too. And now we've got a new, because I interact with AI quite a bit. I have a new partner that
it's a partner.
doesn't judge me. Right.
Oh yeah, right.
That maybe I seek to understand is kind of built into it. So it's really fascinating when you deal with it more, and when you're working with it, what it can unleash your own creativity, as long as you're open. Right.
And so isn't that interesting in that mindset then? Agility in the mindset, the openness to it, responding out of love, not fear. So that And I just, everything keeps coming back to these principles. It's so much of what Covey, and also, so Sean was one of Stephen Covey's sons. There's also Stephen M.R. Covey, and he wrote a book called Leading at the Speed of Trust. And he's got these 13 behaviors of trust, and explains trust in such an incredible way. I'd say that also is another fundamental to bring into this whole process. And so, because we're dealing with large language models, it's about language. It's come from humans, and it's, to me, when we can break down these into these simpler ways to understand it, the technology doesn't sound as overwhelming anymore.
It doesn't. You're right. And when I taught workshops, I've noticed people transform. At the beginning, they're timid, they're tempted. I don't want to tell it too much because I don't want it to know too much about me, type of thing, to, oh my goodness, look what it can do. And it's safe, right? They feel they've overcome that fear. And then you start seeing in their own heads, they're like, oh, look at all the things I can do now that I was limited in because of my own abilities or because of time or whatever. There's so much more I can do now than I've ever thought I could ever do before. And it's an incredible moment as a teacher to see that happen to people and go, oh, wow, this is incredible.
Do you ever find, Darren, that's sort of like why you do what you do, when you see that person have the breakthrough?
Oh, no, it's easy. When I see that, I'm like, this was awesome.
It doesn't matter how tired you are or how challenging the day was. It's like, that's fulfillment in that moment. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So, all right, Matt, I mean, we're almost out of time, but we got so much more to talk about. If people want to find out more about your book, it's Untangling AI. It's available out on Amazon.
So this actually launches through Wiley Publishing on the 10th of February, 2026. It's currently on pre-order through Walmart, and it'll be on mattkesby.com in about a week's time, available on pre-order.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a big ramp up when you're working with the big publishers to launch these
Yeah,
books.
they're
It'll
going
be in
through a major
bookstores.
shift right now too.
Say again?
The publishers are going through a major shift right now
Oh,
too.
yeah. Yeah, big change
Yeah.
for them, right? So,
Yeah,
and
big-
there's
big
a
change.
lot of important things, like, you're not allowed to write books with AI when you're writing for Wiley. It's like and the thing is, books like this can't be written with AI because the frameworks that we've put into place didn't exist out there. This is not it's not generic. So I think
Right, yeah,
Wiley's
yeah.
got a very good fundamentals on how you're allowed to actually deliver the content.
To deliver. Which means a lot of work, right?
Yeah. Yes, it
So
does.
I've done 3 books myself. I know how much work it is.
I
So
salute you. Yeah.
I salute you for doing it.
It is.
I've been tempted to
big
try
job.
it again. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But also, if they want to find out more about, your company, your AI coaches, it's aicoaches.com. What do
AI
you guys?
AIcoaches.com. So while we do lots of things, I think a great starting point is through AIcoaches.com. So you can jump on a workshop. We've got some free introductory ones, and then paid ones that are more advanced around understanding things like AI agent mastery for business, or delivering the AI sweet spot for executives, or AI sweet spot for private equity. There's a whole range of different programs there. Our Unstoppable Company Game. And much of what you learn in the book, you'll be able to learn through the workshops as well. That's a
Awesome.
great starting point. And we'll also understand things between applying AI. You actually get hands-on, build AI agents. These are hands-on workshops. They're not full of theory. You won't walk away going, I
That's
don't really
awesome.
know what to do next, because I found that was a real gap. I want to get hands-on. I want to get in there and get results and execute. So we do that. We all sessions, we end up giving away thousands of dollars in value in just AI agents and automations that you can put in your business straight away. Heaps of fun. Then we help out with a range of different software products that we build, and people outsourcing. But the entry point, just for ease, because we do so much, just start at aicoaches.com.
That's awesome. Matt, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And I always enjoy talking to people, but I mean, you bring a little extra pizzazz, so I appreciate it.
Hey, Darren, I really, really enjoyed, and thank you everyone for listening today.
Thanks for listening to Embracing Digital Transformation. If you enjoyed today's conversation, give us 5 stars on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube. It really helps others discover the show. If you want to go deeper, join our exclusive community at patreon.com/embracingdigital, where we share bonus content, and you can always connect with other change makers like yourself. You can always find more resources at embracingdigital.org. Until next time, keep embracing the digital transformation.